Today, Pluto is moving into Aquarius. One of the magical things about astrology is that you can look into the future and get a cosmic weather report. And that's what I'm about to do now. Look into how this monumental shift of Pluto changing signs is likely to be affecting us over the next 20 years. But before I do that, let's take a little look into the past. So Pluto is leaving Capricorn, where it's been since 2008, and it's not going to return for the next 250 years. A lot has happened since 2008. Capricorn rules big systems, government, big corporations, and just authority in general. Pluto rules power and shows us what was hidden. What Pluto does, it takes things that were under the surface and put them up where we can see them. And I don't think it's an overstatement that what we've seen about how the world is really run has left us disillusioned. Our faith in the government and believe that big corporations have got our back, have got the people's interest in mind, is simply not there anymore. We don't really trust the government, we don't really trust big corporations, and this is a big shift that has really happened. So this collapse in belief of authority is precisely Pluto in Capricorn in action. So Pluto is the ruler of the underworld, and it rules in mysterious ways, but it's also not subtle. In 2008, there was a global financial collapse and crisis. Basically, the financial system collapsed around the world. So that happened just about the moment it really entered Capricorn. But I think the biggest impact has been caused subtly. It's working from behind the scenes. And this is social media. And since about 2008, social media really started to grow. And then from about 2012, exponentially. And now we're all here. Grandmothers, babies, we've all got our platform now. And this power to the people platform that is social media has really attacked the system from within. And so for the first time in history, people have been able to create their own media. And I can choose where I get my information from. I can choose where I get my news from. I don't have to get it from the 2-3 news sources. I can get it from some guy on YouTube, some crazy nutter somewhere. I can absolutely choose where I get my own news from. And that is brand new. And that is something that we've never had. Before social media, for the most part, everybody was getting their news from the same place. I worked at a local newspaper in 2007, which was at the time the biggest newspaper in Iceland. And I was shocked to find that all of our world news we got from 2 sources, Reuters and AP. So all of the world news that we were publishing, they just came from these 2 sources. I didn't see us use anything else. And so whoever owned that and the journalists working there, they were basically in control of all of the news and all of the world news in Iceland. And that's a lot of power. And of course, around the world, there was still at the time, there were some bigger channels, and there were some independent newspapers gathering their own news. But that independent journalism at the time was already crumbling. So at the time when Pluto entered Capricorn, most of the power was in the hands of very few people. And it still is. But now we know about it. And this is the perfect setup for Pluto in Aquarius. With social media, there is potential power. And it is an immense power, the kind of power that can topple governments. Remember the Twitter revolution in Egypt, and the potential to bankrupt huge global corporations. We can see the impacts of boycotting had on some big corporations now in 2024. And this is where Pluto in Aquarius comes in. Like Pluto in Capricorn, it came in with a bang. Pluto in Capricorn came in and the banks collapsed. Pluto in Aquarius came in, and now suddenly everybody has access to AI. ChatGPT, it's here to stay. So ChatGPT, it had been released a couple of months earlier while Pluto was at the 29th degree of Capricorn, where it is right now. As Pluto entered Aquarius, suddenly ChatGPT and AI and the potential possibilities that AI is bringing us was everywhere. I remember talking about ChatGPT in January of 2023, and nobody had any idea what I was talking about. And then Pluto entered Aquarius, and by May that year, everybody knew about it. So, and because for a very long time, there's been this knowledge of AI disrupting the job market. And we couldn't really see how it was going to happen because, computers, how are they going to take over our jobs? But with ChatGPT now, we can see what it can do. I think we're starting to get a glimpse of the future, and it is everywhere, and it's completely changing how we use the internet and how we connect, and it has already changed social media in a huge way. And in a very short while, we're going to have no idea what content, what videos were actually created by humans and which one were created by the machine. And this is Pluto and Aquarius. So Aquarius runs innovation, technology, global community, individual freedom, social reform, anything progressive and weird. And it also rules AI. So what can we expect over the next 20 years? First of all, rapid advancements in technology and its integration into daily life. The way we live is most certainly going to change radically, and even more than it has since 2008, because Aquarius moves really fast. And there's incredible potential here. Think about medicine, for example. Since AI became accessible in the way that it has since Pluto started to move into Aquarius, we've already seen radical advancement in medicine, because AI is capable of doing research in a month that takes 100 scientists many years to do. So things can really move fast. And as long as we have AI do what it is best at and have us humans do what we are best at, the next 20 years, they can be absolutely wonderful. However, there is a lot of injustice in this world. And with Pluto in Aquarius, people are going to become aware of it. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we had the French Revolution. And although it was brutal, it is one of the main reasons why we have the democracy that we have today. People in power generally want to stay in power, and the only reason why some of the power was let go of was when the people in power realized that they would be killed if they didn't let go of it. And that's why we have democracy. And power to the people is maybe the biggest theme of Pluto in Aquarius. So to sum up the most likely changes happening over the 20 years, and remember, is happening over the 20 years, is not all happening tomorrow. Technological revolution. We'll probably see unprecedented advancements in areas like artificial intelligence, space, travel. Maybe we'll get the aliens finally. Medicine, renewable energy, social movements. Aquarius brings change and fight. We're going to see a huge rise in the fight for justice, fight for equality. And we still only have justice and equality and basic human rights in parts of the world. They're like in the West, a lot of the way that we live is based on slave labor, human trafficking. We'll probably witness powerful grassroots movements and a surge in global activism, both for humanitarian and environmental causes. Decentralization will be a big theme. And this could lead to changes in government, changes in finances, cryptocurrencies, for example. And we could see things like smaller self-governing units rather than these nation states and global structures like the United Nations. But we could also go more in that direction. So global governance could also be a theme. One world government. Collective consciousness. There may be a greater emphasis on collaboration, group dynamics, collective problem solving, integrating AI, and in general moving away from hierarchical structures. Personal freedom versus collective responsibility. This transit might highlight the tension between individual freedom and the need for global responsibility and the needs of society as a whole. For all of us to thrive, the people in the West, we're going to have to adjust how we live as the horrible problems of child labor and human trafficking are tackled, and just paradigm shifts. We can just expect radical shifts in how we perceive and interact with the world. The old system will have to be dismantled to make way for new progressive ways of interacting with the world and being as a humanity. Welcome to the Aquarian Age.